lovelies, welcome back again to Debzies Delight. Today we are making the famous jollof rice. Of course, this is Ghanaian jollof rice. I'm not gonna do that here. Let's not waste any more time. I know we've got a jollof rice recipe on this channel, but this one is another way you can make your jollof and is certainly a must try. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the video.
So I've got this amazing array of ingredients here, and the first ingredient on the list is my famous chicken broth or stock. This is very delicious. It adds a whole lot of flavor to your jollof. If you haven't seen the recipe, click on the link above now and check it out before you try this recipe. You can also use any stock of choice at all, okay? I'm sure someone is wondering why it's a stock but frozen or hard. I always freeze it to make it last longer, okay? But before I use it, I'm going to defrost it and warm it up before adding it to the jollof, as I never add anything cold to my jollof anyway, okay? I've also got some ginger, some garlic, 2 habanero peppers. If you don't like a lot of ginger and garlic, you can use as to your preference, okay? I've also got here some curry powder, which adds a lot of flavor to your jollof. I've also got some bay leaf, some rosemary, some mixed herbs, some stock cube, and of course my vegetable seasoning, some salt, some tomato puree. I've got my mixed peppers, which is the yellow, green and red. That is Ghana colors. I've also got some pointed peppers, some fresh tomatoes, and look at how beautiful that is. I've also got some red and yellow onions, which I'm going to mix together, some basil leaves, my spring onions. I had the basil leaves there and I didn't want to waste it, and I thought, why don't I just use it in this recipe? And guys, it turned out perfect. Of course, I've got my jasmine rice. You can use any rice of choice at all, some coriander leaves, and this huge coconut oil, which my sister cooking with Gifty advised for me to get coconut oil, and I thought, well, since I use a lot of it in my cooking, why don't I get this huge one? And this was from Costco. So I'll begin by cutting and prepping all the ingredients. Please take note that all these ingredients have been washed and cleaned properly with some warm water and vinegar, okay? Also, remember that I always leave the quantities of ingredients in the description box, so be sure to check it out, okay? What I'm going to do with the vegetables is to roast it a little bit before I incorporate it into the base of the jollof. Doing it this way adds so much flavor to your jollof. Aside the flavor, it also cuts your cooking time into half. So try and do it this way, okay? All I'm doing now is to cut all the ingredients and line it all beautifully on my baking tray, and just look at that. So this you see right here is all the tomatoes, all the pointed peppers, all the mixed peppers, and 1 large yellow onion. And just look at those array of colors. This is some Ghana colors. I'll pop that into the oven and allow that to roast a bit. Not forgetting that I sprinkled some olive oil on it before I popped it into the oven. I feel the olive oil sprinkled on it amplifies the flavors of the vegetables, so don't omit it, okay? I'll then continue by chopping all the other ingredients for blending. So I have chopped some red onions and some yellow onions. All my scallions or spring onions is going to go in, as well as the bay leaves. Don't forget that all the quantities of ingredients is in the description box, so do well to check it out, okay? I'll also proceed by chopping all my ginger into tiny bits to aid the blender. Transfer it all to the blender with the habanero pepper and ginger, and of course the coriander leaves. I'll add a little bit of water and continue by blending it all together beautifully. Blending is done now, so let's continue. Into a heated pan, I'll add about 4 tablespoonfuls of my coconut oil. Also, the coconut oil adds so much flavor to your jollof rice. So if you have coconut oil, don't use any other oil but the coconut oil, okay? I'll then proceed by adding the blended ingredients. I realized that it was a bit too much, so I added only about half the blended ingredients, and that's the exact quantity I will leave in the description box, okay? I'll stir it all to combine and cover it partially and allow it to fry away. While that fries, I'll continue with prepping some of the ingredients, and this is 1 red onion and 1 yellow onion. I will chop all of that and add it to the jollof as well. Someone might say that this is too much onions, but trust me, to get the best tasting jollof rice, you need a good amount of onion. But of course, everyone to their own preference. Use less if you choose to, but if you do it this way, you will love it. I've proceeded by adding my vegetable seasoning, a little bit of rosemary, which will go a long way, about 3 strands of bay leaves, and some nutmeg. I'll stir it all together to combine. When you leave it to chop your onions, please make sure to stir it from time to time, okay? It's been a total of about 15 minutes of cooking time on medium-low heat and intermittent stirring. I'll proceed by adding my tomato puree and stir it all together to combine. If you're new to this channel, the name of the channel is Debziesdelight, and on this channel I bring you loads of amazing recipes. If you haven't subscribed, please be kind and subscribe, because you've been missing out on so many loaded recipes. At this point, after about 20 minutes, our roasted vegetables are ready. I'll put it all back in the blender and blend it all together. I tell you, this jollof rice is fully loaded with so many flavors from different angles and corner. So I was stuck on the phone with mom and the stew base nearly burned, but don't worry, we'll recover it very soon. So please make sure that while your stew base is on the fire, stir it together intermittently, okay? So that you don't burn it like I did, but it did turn out all right, so don't worry. I've blended everything together now, which is the vegetables, the roasted vegetables. I will add it to the base, which has been cooking for a total of about 40 minutes. Stir it all to combine. So I rinsed the blender with a little bit of water, as I didn't want to get any of it to waste at all. Our jollof base is almost ready, as the vegetables were roasted, and so you don't have to cook it too long. So as soon as you add it, cover it and allow it to fry for about 5 minutes, and add the rest of the seasoning. So in here we've got the curry powder, some more of the nutmeg, a little bit, some rosemary as well, some bay leaves, and our mixed herbs. I'll stir it all together to combine. Cover it partially and allow it to fry on medium-low to low heat for about 10 more minutes, and our stew base will be ready. Simple as that. When I'm making jollof, I make sure to do a lot of the base, as it's so good. I always know that it doesn't last long in my home. So I set some of the stew aside so that as soon as it's done, I will go ahead and make more. Yes, this jollof is good, and you testify if you try it. I'll then add my rice. This is Jasmine rice. You can use any rice of your choice, but I find Jasmine rice to give your jollof a better taste. But again, down to preference, okay? I'll stir it a little bit to combine, add some salt, and roast it on the fire for about 5 minutes before I go ahead and add my stock. Again, you can click on the link above or in the description box for this stock. If you're making your jollof, don't use plain water. The stock gives it so much flavor. And so when I'm not doing it with goat meat or any other meat which would produce stock, I always go to my chicken broth, which always comes in handy. Trust me, my lovelies, you ought to make these things and keep it in your freezer. It makes your life so easy and cooking very easy as well. As advised from the very beginning of the video, I did warm it up, as you can see, before adding it, okay? It is always always crucial to make sure that the water or stock you add to your jollof is always hot, as it makes it cook faster. When it stays on the fire for too long, it's going to burn. So just take note of these little things. I'll make some holes in the jollof so that the heat from under the pot can travel faster up to help cook the rice quickly. I'll cover it and allow it to cook on medium-low heat for about 10 minutes. Come back and stir it gently. When you're cooking your jollof, you don't want to stir it rigorously, or else your rice will break, and no, the end results will not be pretty at all. So be sure to be very gentle when you're stirring it, okay? I'll go ahead and cover it with some parchment paper and the lid and allow it to cook now on medium, low to low heat. After another 10 minutes, I'll come back, and you see that vapor, that is what was cooking the rice at this point. It did leave some water on the parchment paper. I never throw that out. I just add it to jollof rice and stir it all together beautifully and gently. And you can see that our jollof is almost there. It's nearly there, isn't it? And it's cooking beautifully. It smells divine. And this jollof rice is so delicious. You just have to try it. I can't say this enough, my lovelies. I'll cover it again. Turn the heat down now to very low heat and allow it to cook for another 10 minutes. Come back and turn the sides, because the sides tend to burn. I normally don't stir my jollof too much, but when it's on fire, I come back from time to time to turn the sides so that the sides do not burn. Spread it all out evenly. Give it a little jiggle. Make some few holes in there. Cover it again with the parchment paper and allow it to cook through on very low heat. And voila, our jollof rice is as good as done. Just look at that. It is so delicious. Smells flavorful. And just look at the grains. A yee 1 just like I'll always say. This is really giving me some good vibes here, guys, because this jollof was really good. You ought to try it. This is the finished product. And guys, I paired this with my grilled chicken I shared last week. If you haven't seen this recipe, you are missing out big time. I'll leave the link in the description box, as well as the salad right here. I paired this with my chicken, of course, some salad, and it went down really well. My husband enjoyed it. Anyone who visited our home also enjoyed it. You ought to try this and you will thank me later.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to this channel, my name is Debzies. No, I forgot my name. Well, the channel is called Debziesdelight. My name is Debbie. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, why don't you subscribe now? Join the family, grow, as well as click on the notification button so that whenever I post a video, you will be instantly notified. Also, please share with 1 or 2 people, because it's the only way to support this channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and to my returning subscribers, I love you all, but God loves you the most. See you in my next one, and it's bye for now.